So, my first question is always the hardest.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to say and spell your
Say your
name.
name.
Yes, sir.
It's John Mark Hogg. It's spelled JONMARKHOGG.
All right, and you are the director here,
I'm the
correct?
director for 12th Night with Shakespeare on the Concho.
All right. So, when people come into this show, what should they know about it?
Well, you don't have to know anything about it. It's just a classic story with Shakespeare, which he does all the time, which is cross-dressing girls, girls dressing as boys, boys falling in love with other boys and girls, and it all being tied up at the end. So, but there is a synopsis that we have that you can read about online. But basically, it's just a story of two twins, Sebastian and Viola, who are separated in a shipwreck. They're orphans, and so they each think the other is dead. And so Viola dresses up as a guy to protect herself and survive, and goes to work in Duke Orsino's court. Duke Orsino is madly in love with the Countess Olivia, and he sends Viola, who's now being called Cesario, to go to woo Olivia. But Olivia falls in love with Viola, who she thinks is Cesario. And then, of course, her brother finally does show up on the scene, and they get mistaken for each other, and so there's all this sort of pandemonium that takes place and all that. So it's just a riotous good time.
It sounds like a great time indeed. So, I was reading on the website a little bit, and it said there might be some music involved in this show.
It's not really music. Well, I mean, it is music, but we have some audience participation. Let's put it that way.
Okay, that's very
That'll
interesting.
be a fun time for the audience. Be really actively in part. That's one of the things we like to do with our shows, is really bring the audience into the action and into the fun.
It really draws them in, makes
Yeah,
them feel more
exactly
included in
right.
what's going on.
You may be asked to sing a little bit when you're in the audience, but we'll not ask anything of you that we're not asking of everybody else in the audience.
That is fair. That's very fair. So, how did you end up becoming the director of this show?
Well, I was one of the founders of Shakespeare on the Concho when we started it 9 years ago, along with Marcus Osborne and Charlie Blake, and we started doing free Shakespeare shows outside. And we did that for a number of years, and of course COVID hit, and this year we're back inside. We did Romeo and Juliet last year, and so this is our year back inside and taking on 12th Night. So it's just something I've acted in the shows and been helping adapt plays, and this is my second year directing.
Oh, wow, that's really exciting. They were telling me earlier that Hamlet might be coming here that next year.
We will actually be shifting Shakespeare on the Concho. Instead of being in June next year, will actually be in April.
Okay.
And we're gonna take on the challenge of Hamlet. That will be the 10th year of doing Shakespeare. And so we've done tragedies, we've done comedies, and we thought we're going to pull out all the stops and go for the big guns.
Yes, that's great.
It'll be a lot of fun.
So, what is your favorite part of the show?
My favorite part of the show, as far as the show itself,
Yes, sir.
my favorite part of the show is just really watching Toby Belch, Andrew Aguchick, and Fabian when they're making fun of Malvolio. That's just the height of the show. The second would probably be watching Malvolio's spectacular entrance with Olivia. You don't want to miss that. It's just comedy got written all over it.
All right, that sounds amazing. I had one more question. I always blank, like right on the last one. I forgot what it was. Oh, when is the show times? How can people purchase tickets?
Yeah, you can get tickets. You go to the B Theater website, and you can go in the right-hand column. There's a place for tickets. You click on there. It'll take you to the page, and you can sign up for tickets. It's $10. So not an exorbitant price for a ticket by any stretch of the imagination. And the show times are opening night is tomorrow night, Friday, June the 3rd, at 7:30 is when the show starts. The house will open about 7. You can buy tickets online, or you can buy them at the door. They're general admission tickets, so come early if you want a really good seat. Then we also have a show on Saturday at 7:30. We'll have a matinee performance this coming Sunday, June the 5th at 2 o'clock. And then we start back up the next week with shows on Thursday, July 9th, Thursday, June 9th, Friday, June 10th, and our closing show will be Saturday, June 11th, all at 7:30.
All right, so kind of backtracking a little bit, how did you end up getting involved in the Shakespeare on the Concho?
I've been a Shakespeare fan for years. I've seen so many shows and studied it in school, and I saw so many performances of it being done, for the community. I just really wanted to be a part of that, and it was something I wanted to see if we could replicate here in San Angelo and just make it, affordable, and also to just share the love of it. One of the reasons I got into it was because people would always tell me they don't understand Shakespeare or they don't like Shakespeare, and I never understood what they were talking about. But it finally hit on me that Shakespeare, we usually experience it just by reading Romeo and Juliet or King Lear in English class, and that's not how those works are meant to be seen. They're meant to be performed in plays, and how the actors bring them to life and bring the audience along with them. And so that's what we do. We adapt our plays. We try to minimize the amount of language that is difficult for people to understand. Funny thing, Shakespeare is not in Old English. Shakespeare is in essentially modern English. It's just they've got some words and phrases that they don't use anymore, that we don't use anymore. And so it's just kind of adapting that and bringing it to a modern audience. And so that's what we try to do, is just show what fun there is in plays that are 400 years old.
Oh wow, that is absolutely amazing. Have you seen an adaptation or growth within the San Angelo community on those coming out to watch these?
Yes, when we started this, we just had a few actors. We had no set. We had nothing. We were doing it outside at the Museum of Fine Arts, and we didn't know if anybody would show up. And that first year, we were getting audiences of like 100, 200, 300 people.
Oh wow!
And the audiences just kept picking up year after year. Of course, we had the pandemic, so that shut everything down. Mm-hmm. But it just, the number of people that come and people that have told me that, I'd never thought I would like Shakespeare, but now I get it. And we had one experience one time that I'll share with you. And we were at the museum, and parents are just coming and going. They go to the pool. The pool was right there. So we were doing a rehearsal one night out there, and some people were coming back from the municipal pool, and they stopped to watch the rehearsal. And then they wanted to know about the show and when it was. And one of the fathers said to me, he said, I never thought I would like Shakespeare, but I really like this. And so that's really what it's all about. It's not stuffy. It's not just something for boring English class. It really comes alive. And the reason Shakespeare is so important to us culturally is because it speaks to so many things that are universal with people back then and today.
Oh wow, that is absolutely amazing. Is there anything else you would like to add or say?
No, just let you know the location. It is at the Theater at San Angelo Performing Arts Center at 82 Gillis Street, and our shows run June the 3rd through June the 11th.
All right.
See us.
Sounds great. Thank you.